following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
This is the Players Lounge, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now your hosts, Barry Church, Danny McCray, and Newy Scruggs.
Oh, it's Friday, baby. It's Friday, and there's a whole lot of topics to get to right here on the Players Lounge, brought to you by Hotels.com. I'm Newy Scruggs, longtime Cowboys reporter, joined by two former Dallas Cowboys players who make up the Players Lounge, Danny McCray and Barry Church. Gentlemen, how we doing on Friday?
Doing great, man. It's a little cloudy, a little rainy, but, overall, like I said, we on the Players Lounge, so it's a great day.
Yeah, man, same here. I got no complaints. It wasn't freezing. It was no snow, no ice, no none of that. So I'm doing good, man. We got heat and water. Hey, I'm excited to get into these topics, man, because I know I'm about to have to go back and forth with Newy for a minute.
That's right. That's right. That's it. We're going to jump off the top rope right now. You see the hat? USC. Okay, fight on, baby. Fight on, because Tyron Smith has come out and spoken. Let's hear from the Cowboys left tackle right now. Play it, Bean. Play it.
Me playing for the Cowboys for 10 seasons, it goes by quick. Seems like just yesterday I just got drafted. Now I'm about to go into year 11. I want to prove to everyone and prove to myself that, even after being a year out, that I'm coming back stronger than ever, that the neck's not going to be a problem, and the back's not going to be a problem. Just proving to everybody I can still play at the same level I've always been playing with. My name is Tyron Smith.
Ooh. Yeah, baby.
Yes, sir.
You got it. You got it right there.
Mean?
Yes, sir. He's ready. That's what that means. He's ready.
I mean, right. Carson Wentz said that after he came back from ACL.
Ain't nobody talking about Carson Wentz right now. We're talking about Tyron Smith. All right, he's back. He's ready He's ready to get that blind side handled. We don't need no offensive tackle in the first round. We don't need that.
Fight on.
What the man said. The neck and the hip are ready to roll. Tyron Smith is ready to go, baby. Let's go.
Do y'all remember Peyton Manning saying that his neck?
Nah, here we go.
I'm just saying, all these people can come back and say, I got something to prove. Klay Thompson said he had something to prove, came out there and got hurt again. Just because you say it doesn't make it true.
You better put some respect. You better put some respect on my boy Tyron's name out here, man. He's back. He's ready.
Listen, let me tell you this. I know for 100% fact that he believes everything he just said. But if you go back in history and look at it, I have reason to believe different. And so do y'all too. I hope that he's healthy, but I'm not hinging my playoffs and my Super Bowl run on the health of Tyron Smith. That's just not what I'm doing.
I can't believe it.
I can
still on this offensive tackle chain.
I can believe it from Danny. I can believe it from Danny. Yeah.
How much money are y'all betting on it? If y'all was making a bet right now, you putting your house on that Tyron Smith stays healthy the whole year?
Who you talking about?
We never said he was staying healthy the whole year. See, you twisted now. You twisted.
Yeah.
What I'm merely saying, you just twisted it because you said you'll stay healthy the whole year. We've never come on this show.
Bro, you said
what I'm telling you.
We never did say that.
Be healthy.
All we said was we don't need an offensive tackle in the first round.
We said we can
get one later on. All we said we don't need a tackle in the first round. That's all we said.
Thank you, Barry.
Newy. You specifically asked for that clip of him saying that he's ready to come back and be healthy and prove that he is the same guy that he's always been. Well, previously, before the last 2 or 3 years. So that was you insinuating that Tyron Smith said he's going to be healthy, so we don't need no tackle. Is that not correct?
Not in the first round.
Not at 10. We are not. Church and I are together on this. That we are telling you not taking a tackle at 10. Okay, that's it. Okay, stop trying to twist it in us saying we never said he was playing 16 games. We never said they didn't need a backup plan. We never said they can't use a draft pick later rounds on a tackle. We're saying at 10, you don't take an offensive tackle.
The discussion is if Tyron Smith ain't going to be healthy, then you shouldn't be paying this man all this money. You could move on, save some bread, and get an early draft pick in the first round on him. Instead,
that's your conversation.
Listen, you want to pay him how much is he getting paid? 20? What's the cap hit this year, New? I know you know it by heart. Whatever.
I think it's 14. I think he's around 14, ain't he?
So you want to pay this dude 15, and you already in your mind know that you need a true backup plan for him because that $15 million is not going to play 16 games. You already know that, and you still want to move forward with it because you want to get an interior defensive lineman or a cornerback in the first round.
We can get that depth piece later on in the draft. We can get him in the third or in the fourth round.
That's how you
talk to him, Church. Take him to church.
Oh, here we go. We're sitting there acting like if we get this tackle in the first round, he's going to be a bona fide, solidified Pro Bowl player. We've proven that we can find later picks in the later rounds of the draft and still be successful.
Church. Let me come back at you on this one. All right, the offensive tackle that we need is probably not going to be there at 10 because of you. And like we talked about, smashing the watermelons and winning those extra games, we are no longer in position to get the guy who's worth it to get taken in the first round. So maybe you guys are maybe right, but I still think they're going to go and pick somebody. But Penei Sewell is the guy who I say we should pick. But since you want to make your playoff run and Andy Dalton going to the Super Bowl, we're sitting here at number 10 with no chance of getting a guy that's really worth it.
But we got a chance at that corner. We got a chance at somebody that can really help this team. We have a need on the defensive side of the ball. I can see if we were a playoff team, if we were rolling and we were only a few pieces short, then we would have the luxury of picking, who's the best available, who we can help add a strength to this team. But we need somebody on that defensive side of the ball. We were historically bad this past year, historically bad in the secondary and in the run game. So for me, we just got to get that guy at the corner spot.
Do y'all want to win this year? You want to win this year? You want to get better on defense this year, Church?
Yeah, I would like to.
Are you planning for the future? Because the last guy from Alabama who we picked up at cornerback, his rookie campaign was part of the reason why we had a historically bad.
You didn't like what you saw? You didn't like what you saw from Diggs? He had his ups and downs, but did you see who he went against those first 6 weeks? Julio Jones, Tyler Lockett, DK Mack. He went against some dogs out there.
Church, he's going to be going against the same guys this year. And so is the rookie because they're going to be your two starting guys. So it's not like it's going to get any easier for him.
This is true.
The back don't work without the front. The back does not work without the front. You know this. That front was so bad. Newy with facts. Here comes Newy with facts. Okay. The back don't work without the front is a quote from Warren Sapp. Okay, it's a quote from Warren Sapp who kind of understands exactly how the front works. The linebackers look bad because you had dudes who were sitting up on the Cowboys offensively at the second level at the jump street. The Cowboys gave up 2,541 yards of rushing, the second most in franchise history. Okay, and when they weren't running it down your throat, they were throwing it over you. Here's the thing about Diggs, and I don't think you can debate this at all. The defensive backs they had, he was the best dude they had out there. There's the one spot where you say, hey, here's a guy who can improve.
What are you saying? Who gave up the most?
What am I saying? What I'm telling you is this is how bad this thing is overall. They need to address this. You don't need to be taking a tackle at 10. You need to try to get some impact. Now, we had Nate Newton, 3-time Super Bowl winner right here on our podcast network say this week. They need to go get somebody up front. They need to get somebody up front on the D-line who can create an identity, who can do something. So when we sit up here, to me, you picking on Diggs, that's just a mistake.
First of all,
that is an absolute mistake.
Listen. Don't twist my words. Don't twist my words. I asked Church if he was ready to win next year. We all said that Diggs has the potential to be a good corner in the league. His rookie campaign was not so good, especially at the start. So I'm saying if you want to win next year, you go put another rookie out there for the same spot, talking about comparing them to Diggs. If that's the case, they go on that buddy all year, right? So I don't think you should pick a cornerback at number 10. I'm still sitting on my offensive line because I don't know if Tyron Smith is going to be healthy. I'd rather hopefully sign Dak and make sure he's protected up front and then have Dan Quinn do what he does. And Newy, let's not blame the D-line, everything on the D-line, because Church pointed out a play where Leighton Vander Esch is running all the way to the right sideline while Lamar Jackson is running 80 yards up the middle. That didn't have nothing to do with the defensive line. All right, so don't try to put that out. Yeah.
So if you're taking the offensive tackle, you're taking a lineman in the first round. Are you saying that this is a rebuild? We're entering into a rebuild phase. We're taking this offensive tackle.
So I said we got Diggs in the second round. We got Diggs in the second round. DeMarcus Lawrence is a second round pick. Sean Lee is a second round pick. Bruce Carter second. You can find defensive players outside of the first round. Right, when you looking for those top-notch offensive tackles, a lot of times, go ahead and shut up. And Newy, you still haven't named the defensive lineman who's going to be worth it at number 10. Name the guy who you picking at number 10 on the interior defensive lineman who's going to make that number one impact with Neville Gallimore playing next to him.
Can I finish?
Yeah.
Can I talk? Can I talk without you? Can I talk without you interrupting me? Okay.
Absolutely.
As of right now, there is not an interior defensive lineman at the 10th spot worthy of taking if you're the Cowboys. Okay? It's just not. Right now, at 10, if you're talking about defense, you're looking right there at a corner. Okay?
Yes.
Now, I'm also going to say this, which is going to be unpopular with a lot of people. But I said it last month, and I'm going to say it again. What we have seen in this draft is that people will come up to 10 for a quarterback. Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs went up to 10 to get him. Josh Rosen, Arizona came up to get him at 10. With the way people are talking about these quarterbacks, if you're the Cowboys, you could potentially, let's just say you dropped 5 spots down with the Patriots. You could drop 5 spots down and possibly still get one of these 3 corners. You talk about Farley, you talk about Surtain, and you talk about J.C. Horn out of South Carolina. You could still drop that far and get him. Or you could even drop further and possibly talk about getting the Barmore kid, D lineman, out of Alabama. But at 10, no, there's no Vita Vea. There is no Warren Sapp. There's nobody sitting here at the 10th spot right now. So if you're the Cowboys and you sign Dak Prescott to this contract that is going to cost you about $40 million, then trading down and possibly picking up a 3rd round pick to help your defense, and maybe you take that 3rd round pick and you draft a tackle, or you draft a tackle in the 2nd round. But right now in the 1st round, you need to get yourself some serious help, and the best position if you stay at 10 is going to be corner. I'm done.
If Penei Sewell,
I agree 100.
If Penei Sewell is sitting there at 10, you don't take him.
The tackle?
Yeah, the tackle.
Okay.
No.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I had a conversation with someone about that over there. And they said he is special. And I said, give me a comparison. Are we talking Jonathan Ogden-like special, where Jonathan Ogden came out of UCLA, started at guard because they had Big Zeus in Baltimore, then eventually went out to left tackle and became a Hall of Famer? This person said, I believe he's that type of guy. And I said, if you're telling me this, and this is your business, and this is what you know, you're out here, there's no damn way Penei Sewell finds himself going to 10.
That's not what I asked you. That's not what I asked you.
He said, I'm saying no.
And let me finish. And this person said, if he did, you'd be a fool not to take him, because he's that special.
So you would take him if he was there?
If he's at 10, you take him. But I'll say this, he ain't falling to 10. Then again,
if we had an average defense, if we had just an average defense, maybe even top 20-ish defense, then I would say, yeah, okay. But our defense is historically bad. If we get that tackle, all we're going to be saying is, okay, we got a chance to protect Dak Prescott a little bit so he can inflate his numbers a little bit more. We're still going to be giving up touchdown after touchdown after touchdown, and we're still going to be in this rabbit race chase with the rest of the league. To me, it's just wasting a spot. It's wasting a spot if you get that tackle.
The defensive coordinator is gone. He was the cause of this.
Dan Quinn was also a part of a lot of defensive meltdowns, and we're going to sit here and overlook that and say he's the coming grace. He's going to get these guys back to 2018 for?
No.
I don't know.
Dan Quinn wasn't a part of those meltdowns when he was focusing specifically on defense. When he was the head coach, oh yeah, it was bad. It was bad. We all remember 28-3. Remember almost every game of last season where they gave up the lead and they were up, right? We remember that. But when you go back to when he was with Seattle and his main job was focusing on defense, he was a stud. And that's what he's back to.
Because of the players. Because he had.
But look at the players, though. He had some dogs,
players.
man. He had some dogs. I don't think we had those pieces.
He got some good players. When you talk, we listed these guys. Listen, your 2 linebackers ain't going nowhere. Your edge rushers aren't going anywhere. You have a cornerback with potential, one safety with potential. You can plug in a veteran safety in free agency and get you another corner in the second or third round, because Newy named 3 or 4 of them. One of those are going to be available in the second round. One of them is going to be there, just like Diggs was there in the second round last year. One of them will be there. You will have a chance. If Penei Sewell is there, take him.
Okay, Danny.
He ain't going to be there, though.
Danny, you have a Penei Sewell dream. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to let you have this dream.
I had a CD Lamb dream last year.
Okay, and so you hoping this dream happens again. But I'm looking at a team who's got a quarterback that you absolutely love, who got injured last year.
We ain't sure about that.
What? That you don't,
about how much they love Dak, and if he gonna get paid. Let's not.
Can I finish before you jump in? Can I just finish?
I just said 2 words. We just not sure. I want to fact check you. We don't know how much you love
let me finish before you say that. Oh my God.
Here we go.
When I say they have a quarterback that you love, I'm speaking of Joe Burrow, your former LSU guy who won your national championship. He was creamed last year. He was tore up and got injured. I don't see any way the Bengals do not take Penei Sewell, considering also their history of having a fantastic left tackle, Hall of Famer Anthony Munoz. So for me, when you talk Penei Sewell, I don't see how he gets past the Bengals, because to me, if you are the Cincinnati Bengals, what's the main thing you've got to do? You've got to get your team better for Joe Burrow, and that's by taking care of the left tackle. And if Penei Sewell is what my contact said over there, is as good as he's telling me, you're Cincinnati, there's no way you pass on him. There's no way this kid gets to 10. Philadelphia has also had offensive line issues. If Penei Sewell is there, I don't see how he gets to the Cowboys at 10. Now I'm done. Go ahead.
No, listen, I'm good. I mean, we can do the mock draft all day. I was just doing, no matter what we say here, it's a lot of ifs and will they be there and will they won't. We have no idea. Just like last year, we had no idea that CeeDee Lamb was going to be there. This whole entire podcast, everybody was talking about Diggs is going to be a first-round guy. Somehow, he slipped into the second round. We picked up CeeDee Lamb in the first. All these things are possible. So I'm just throwing it out there hypothetically. If Penei Sewell is there, since you guys are so against taking a tackle, if he's there, do you take him? Because you guys are adamant about not taking a tackle at number 10. But if the perfect guy is at number 10, are you going to take him, or are you going to stick with we need to stick get the defense ready?
In your opinion, if we take this tackle, how are we going to help this defense out? How are we going to get them over there? So we putting it all on the draft picks to get this defense ready, and Dan Quinn.
No, we talked about last week about picking up one of these free agent safeties. Was it Ricardo Allen and I forgot the other guy who's a free agent. We talked about picking up one of those guys, and Newy just listed the money. Three potential first round cornerbacks who I'm sure one of them will slip into the second round, who we can get. Now you got 2 rookie cornerbacks, which Church wants, a veteran safety, and the rest of the stuff, we stuck with. We stuck with the edge rushers, and we stuck with the linebackers. So y'all can dream all y'all want to about that. They ain't going nowhere.
So to wrap up this segment, I put my USC hat on. Tyron's telling you that he believes that he's good. We've heard from Tyron, and immediately as Church and I get excited, and Danny just has to poo-poo on it and wants to go for this dream that there's going to be 9 NFL GMs who say Penei Sewell ain't worth a damn, and somehow the Cowboys for a second year in a row end up getting a blue chip number 1 player at his position. Okay, great. Let's take a break. When we come back, can we get to I got a whole list here, and Danny keeps killing me from getting to my list. Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson, we've got to get into that. The Cowboys D-line, interior D-line, I want to dive into that as well. This is the Players Lounge, brought to you by Hotels.com on DallasCowboys.com radio.
Adjust your cleats, adjust your pads, even adjust your helmet, but seriously, don't adjust your underwear, because once it's seen, it cannot be unseen. Tommy John's fabric keeps you cool and dry on the field or in the stands, and now they even have loungewear. Yeah, loungewear. Shop underwear at TommyJohn.com/Cowboys for 15% off your first order. That's TommyJohn.com/Cowboys.
Hey there, Cowboys fans. With Tide Cleaners at-home pickup and delivery, cleaning your clothes has never been more convenient. Simply sign up at your local store, set out your dirty clothes, and one of our Tide Cleaners professionals will come directly to your home for a totally contactless experience. Your clean garments will be returned promptly the next scheduled delivery day, so skip the errand and enjoy life, not laundry. Visit TideCleaners.com or your local store to sign up for Tide Cleaners at-home pickup and delivery today.
Grab some OtterBox gear and get ready for hanging with the boys. From rugged venture coolers to tough as nails elevation tumblers, we've got what you need to keep your game day drinks frosty and your football feast ice cold. And with cases, screen protectors, and power accessories, you can defend your phone and stay connected to every play. Gear up at OtterBox.com and amp up the fun of every Cowboys game. That's OtterBox.com.
Is your family a Cowboys family? Have you taken holiday photos at the Star? Was your wedding theme blue and silver? Have you convinced your kids them is spelled with a D? If so, every game day feels like a vacation to you, so treat it like one. Whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com. Proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to the Players Lounge.
All right, get the ultimate fan experience for the ultimate Cowboys fan. Join Dallas Cowboys United, presented by Globe Life, starting at just $20. Join now and get your exclusive fan pack and member benefits. Visit DallasCowboys.com/United for details. Back here on the Players Lounge, brought to you by Hotels.com. I'm Newy Scruggs, longtime Cowboys reporter, joined by two former Cowboys safeties, Barry Church and Danny McCray. All right, every morning I get up, and I turn on the TV just to make sure, am I missing something that happened in the sports world? And this morning, I think I was watching the game last night, and somehow I end up seeing Get Up on my TV. And I see the sign where it says, is Dak Prescott worth $40 million? And there's Dan Orlovsky. And before I hit the sound, I'm just shaking my head. And I turned it on. Unfortunately, I turned it on for a little bit and couldn't believe what I was hearing. And then, I turned over to another ESPN program saying, what am I missing? I see Russell Wilson. Then they want to throw out and play the whole, will you trade Russell Wilson for Dak Prescott? Because Russell Wilson's agent said, no, he hasn't requested a trade, but he'd gladly go to Dallas. He'd gladly go to Chicago. He'd gladly go to the Raiders. He'd gladly go to the New Orleans Saints. So they're out here planting the seeds. So they want to talk about, would you trade Dak Prescott for Russell Wilson? And I don't know, man. I think ESPN has just got it in for Cowboys content to just throw out the craziest stuff. It doesn't. Why are we still having a conversation about is Dak worth $40 million? He's going to get the $40 million. Now, you used to say, is he worth 30? So now you accept that he's worth 30. I mean, this is going to happen.
It's going to happen. I mean, he's definitely worth, I would say, $40 million. That's just what the market says. I mean, people may say, oh, he's not a top five. He's not an elite quarterback. But look, that's just what the market dictates. And his time's up, and it's all about timing. It's not if you're the greatest at your position or if you're the middle of the pack. But if you come up right on time and you have a need, people have a need for your services, you can put out what you want, and usually you're going to get it when it comes to that timing of free agency and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, shout out to Jerry Jones and them boys who always keep the Star relevant in ESPN. I mean, no matter what is going on, we could be 4-12 or we could be 13-3. Don't matter what it is, you're going to have a Dallas Cowboys story on some type of ESPN or Fox Sports. You're going to have it. Jerry Jones is a genius. But back to the question, I don't think there's no way in hell they should even think about trading Dak and Russell Wilson and all that stuff. I wouldn't do it at all. All right, we still got a defense to fix at the end of the day. We don't need another headache of coming in, bringing this Russell Wilson in there. What is he going to do different that Dak hasn't done with the defense that he has? I mean, his defense in Seattle is better than ours, and they still haven't been out of the first round since he was making Super Bowls back with the Legion of Boom. I mean, Russell Wilson, he is a good quarterback, but I don't think he's that much better than Dak Prescott to where he can come here and lead this team with the defense he has to the Super Bowl. I just don't believe it.
We on the defense again, man.
Hey.
Okay.
Until we fix it, it's a problem.
It's fixed, man. My man Dan Quinn gonna get it taken care of. Y'all can guarantee. You can guarantee one thing: the defense will look totally different, even if you have the same players minus a cornerback. They will look totally better than they looked in the previous year, which was historically bad. When you're historically bad, there's only one way to go, and that's up. Dan Quinn is going to get them right. Now, on why these networks keep talking about Dak Prescott every day. Well, Church said it. It's Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones' fault. If you'd have paid the man 2 years ago, then this wouldn't even be a conversation. Now it's every day. It's every day you try to figure out what is going on with Dak Prescott. The man goes out there, break his ankle, and now it's franchise tag time again. Like, it's not ESPN's fault. It's the Cowboys' fault. You should take care of this and then allow everybody to move on. But we gonna talk about it as well because we still sitting here wondering why won't you pay this dude? Like he's done everything he can for you. You got him on a discount. Now it's time to pay him 2 years ago. You don't do it. Time to pay him last year. You don't do it. Go ahead and get a man a contract. Forget Russell Wilson. Let him go to Chicago. We don't need him. I believe in Dak here more than I believe in Russell Wilson here.
I agree with that point.
The franchise tag deadline for the Cowboys, March 9. March 9 at 3 p.m. And if they do put the franchise tag on, it'll be $37.7 million. One of the things that I kind of laugh at as I was watching this panel say how much better they thought Russell Wilson was than Dak Prescott. Did they forget the last time they played in the playoffs? Dak Prescott's team beat Russell Wilson's team. And Church, you kind of alluded to it. Since they got away from being a defensive team, since they basically had to get rid of the Legion of Boom through contracts and age, and it's been about Russell Wilson who got paid big money. Seattle hasn't done anything really. I mean, they've made the playoffs, they've been winning, but they have not gone deep. They have not been a Super Bowl caliber team. That just hasn't happened. And one of the things I read in an article in The Athletic is how Russ started off super hot. And obviously this year against the Cowboys, he had a fantastic game. But Pete Carroll said, man, we're throwing it way too much. This guy has too many turnovers. I don't want this to be about Russell Wilson. This is a part of the problem. The head coach doesn't believe this guy can go out on his arm alone and win. He wants to run the football. So when people talk about trading for Russell Wilson and giving up 3 number ones, ask yourself this. Why has a guy, Pete Carroll, who's done a lot of winning at the collegiate pro level, said, I don't think this guy can sit up here and sling it a la Brady, a la Manning. I'm not doing that. That's something that I just wonder about. How come people aren't talking, more about here with Russell Wilson?
That's true. I also heard Russell Wilson went up in there and said he wanted some protection on the offensive line, and they see it a different way. So he's asking to get up out of there with that no trade clause, which is he's using as leverage. So I'm not going to touch on my need for the O-line again with that one, but this is a perfect example of the NFL finally turning into something similar to what the NBA does with these no trade clauses and giving the players a little bit more power to ask for trades and then demand where they get traded to and putting that leverage up against the organization. I like it. I like the players having more power. I don't like Russell Wilson coming here to Dallas, but Jerry Jones just has everybody confused. This wouldn't even be a topic if we had already just went ahead and paid Dak Prescott. And for you, Newy, if they franchise tag Dak from March 9th all the way up until the deadline for them to make a deal, they're going to be talking about Dak Prescott every day up until then. So I think we got a lot more time to talk about Dak Prescott.
You're correct. Danny, you said something here, and I wanna ask you this. Because you have this solid belief that, hey, Dan Quinn is going to be the elixir here. If I go back to the year after the Super Bowl for the Atlanta defense, and by the way, Dan was calling those plays in that Super Bowl game, which they blew the 25-point lead. Those Falcons defenses weren't good. So why are you of the belief that Dan Quinn is going to come to Dallas and just be the elixir and the fixer, Mr. Fix-It for the Cowboys, when he couldn't fix his own defense in Atlanta? Ended up firing himself 2 years ago as the coordinator and let Raheem Morris take over.
Was Dan Quinn also the head coach in Atlanta when that happened?
Yes.
Yes, he was the head coach. I'm saying when you get a guy, sometimes like Rod Marinelli. Rod Marinelli is a great, to me, defensive coordinator. Head coach, the history of him being having to focus on everything doesn't work. I think when I say great defensive coordinator, I mean his best asset is being a defensive coordinator, not a head coach. I believe the same thing is for Dan Quinn. His best asset is being specifically a defensive coordinator focusing on one aspect of a team, and I think it's going to show this year where he doesn't have the onus of answering the owners and answering about all the mistakes they make on offense and special teams. When he just has to focus on defense, I think he's going to be great at doing it.
But D-Mac, how can you believe in a man who fired himself? He didn't even believe in himself at the defensive coordinator position, so he fired himself from the position. And you think he's going to come here and be that elixir and get these guys back to that 2018 form?
Too much responsibility, man. He said, man, I got too much on my plate. Let me back off.
You sound like me and Big Mike, man. You sound like me and Big Mike down here, man.
Thank you.
That's what I feel like. Listen, I feel like you're gonna see it. All right, you're gonna see it. Y'all had faith in some crazy stuff last year, and I didn't, and I was right. I said Dan Quinn was coming to Dallas. Y'all said I was wrong. Now I'm saying he's gonna turn the defense around, and I'm right. And y'all just have to sit there and watch and see.
I just want to know, how is he going to be able to do this? He just doesn't have those pieces. He doesn't have that cover linebacker. He doesn't have the interior. I'm fascinated to see how you think he's going to do this.
So listen, I think last year one of the biggest mistakes that was made on defense was trying to change this thing into a 3-4. I think that was the first huge setback, trying to change a team and players that run a 4-3 into a 3-4 with not enough time to learn how to do it, learn those gaps, learn those angles, learn how to do all that stuff. I don't think they had enough time to implement that defense. I think you have 4-3 players that you pick specifically to play in a 4-3 and had gotten used to playing in that defense. And then all of a sudden you say, hey, man, we got no offseason. We got a new coach. We going to come out here and do something different. You got D-Law standing with his hands up. Guys coming here saying they don't feel comfortable doing that. And you still try to run it anyways. I think that was the biggest issue that we had. And it started at the outset. And the 4-3 is going to fix it.
Oh, man. Go ahead, dude.
Dan's going to come here with some magic beans, right? Just some magic beans. He's going to sprinkle some beans and make Tristan Hill a player. Sprinkle some beans and Nevin Gallimore going to be Aaron Donald. And okay. This man needs players.
Listen. Coming from y'all, the Mike McCarthy guys. Y'all can laugh all y'all want to, but y'all are the same Kool-Aid drinking dudes all this season.
I got off that narcotic. I got off that narcotic.
Newy, you was on the narcotic. You got a picture with you and McCarthy, everything.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
Church was back and forth on the Kool-Aid all season, and y'all was sitting here laughing about Dan Quinn. Y'all should be laughing about what y'all believe this entire season that led us to the record that we got, and now we couldn't even get losing games right to get us a top pick. We had to get pick number 10, and y'all was over here talking about yeah. Come on now, come on.
Like Senator Ted Cruz, I've already been on my apology tour. Okay, all right. It was a mistake. I was wrong. Okay, I believed in Jerry and Stephen Jones about Mike McCarthy. I drank the Kool-Aid. I've already apologized. Okay. I was wrong. How many times do I have to die on this sword to make you feel good about this, McCray?
You got no credibility.
I was wrong.
The only thing we was wrong about. No. So what we was wrong about was believing in the red pistol. That was the only thing we was wrong about.
What I've done.
Go ahead, Newy.
So you make a mistake, Church, and here's what you do. You go back and you say this, you know what? I just believed in what I was being told, and I sat there and said, you know what? The guy's got a Super Bowl, and I'll admit, I was so tired of Jason Garrett. I was ready for any and everything, and was just ready to just bring something else. Okay? I didn't dive deep enough into it. I made a mistake.
You sound like a politician. You sound like a true politician. As you bring up Ted Cruz.
I sound like Ted Cruz, don't I? Don't sound like Ted Cruz, don't I? Trust me. You sound like Ted Cruz.
He didn't get that. He didn't get that Emmy for nothing, man.
But I'm right now because I've gone back and corrected my mistakes. So I'm now asking the question, what are you bringing to help Dan Quinn? You want to tell me the carpenter's going to be good, but I need the carpenter to have tools, Danny McCray. That's what I need.
I know, but y'all, Church, first of all, Church, what did you say you was wrong about? You said you was only wrong about 2 things this year?
Yeah, no, I was only wrong thing about one. One, we didn't make the play. Oh, and we didn't make the playoffs, and believing in the red pistol. That was it. After week 12, I thought for sure he was the answer, but I was wrong about that. I was dead wrong about that one. Pure, man, he let me down. But but Dan Quinn, he needs his tools. Like my boy Newy said, he needs his tool. We don't have a KJ Wright. We might have something in the Cliff Averill like a D-Law. We might have something in that, but we don't have a KJ Wright. We ain't got a Cam Chancellor right now. We don't got an Earl Thomas, and I mean Diggs got a chance, but we need somebody else. We need somebody else on the outside.
It literally sounds like you guys are saying if we don't pick defense in the first round, then you may as well scrap the whole season.
I ain't saying all that.
I'm saying this is what it sounds like. If we pick offense in the first round, we don't pick defense. Then you saying that there's no way for the defense to be good. Like we don't have 2, 3, 4, 5 in round 7 to pick 6 and 7 to pick defensive players.
Our chances will dwindle.
Church, don't let Danny do this. This one of the Fox News tricks. You trying to get the whataboutism. Don't let Danny take you here to the what. Well, what about what you guys said about Mike McCarthy? What about that? No, we talk about Dan Quinn. Look, if you can take the 10th, if you taking the 10th pick in the draft, all right. And that's supposed to be what you talk about, the best 100, 200 players in the league. You got an opportunity to take possibly the 10th best one and maybe the 4th or 5th best defensive player, because we expect quarterbacks to go up there. Why are you passing on that to say we're going to wait till 44 to try and address the position? A position of need. That's all we're saying, Church. Stop with the whataboutism. Maybe you're better than that. You're better than that.
First of all, I told you why already, and we already addressed the fact that you were not going to answer the question anyway about if Penei Sewell was there, would you take him? So we already addressed that. So that's fine.
No, I'm not. Okay. I'm going defense.
Are you opposed to the linebacker from Penn State?
I prefer the corner. If I'm sitting there, I prefer the corner. And I'm telling you, to me, and this is just me, okay? I'm not the Jones family, but if I'm sitting there at 10, and if these quarterbacks are as hot as people are making them out, and it's February, okay? We got a long time to go till April. But if we get to April and somebody's sitting up here thinking that Mac Jones or Justin Fields is a guy they got to have at 10, and if I can move down 5 to 7 spots and still get a corner and pick up a third or pick up a second, I'm going to do it. Because I think this defense needs more pieces. And Danny, within that, I'm telling you, I would not be opposed to the Cowboys using a 2nd or 3rd round pick on a tackle. But at 10, I'm trying to find the best defensive player I can to plug in the defense that needs help. That's all I'm saying.
I know what's wrong with you, Newy. I know what's wrong, man. I know what's wrong. And I didn't want to go here, all right? I didn't want to go here on this show. I didn't want to go here, all right? But I'm looking behind you, and you're missing something, and I think a little piece of you went with that fantasy football trophy, so now you feel a little salty, and that's why you got all this energy today. You got this negative energy.
No, you gave up the trophy? Man.
Hey, look at, why do you still have that? Why do you still, is that a replica?
Man.
Y'all out of pocket.
Y'all out of pocket for this, man. Oh, man.
Nah, man, okay. Defense in the first round, whatever you guys want, man. My whole thing is, I don't trust Tyron Smith's health. I trust him as a player. I think he still has the talent. I still think he can do it. But sometimes your body just says no. And we've seen it, every year with a lot of players, a lot of different positions. Once you start having these issues, back and neck and missing games, this stuff only continues.
Danny, I'm not dismissing your point. Church and I are not saying what you just said right there is wrong. All we're saying is we'll address it later in the draft. Not in the first round. Not in the first round. Probably not in the second round. David Bakhtiari's a 4th-round draft pick. You took Eric Williams, who was a great tackle on Super Bowl teams here. He was a 3rd-round pick. You can find offensive tackles outside of the 1st round. And if you're not getting the best one in Penei Sewell, I definitely would be doing it in the 1st round. That's all I'm saying.
You can find cornerbacks. What round was Richard Sherman drafted in? I'm saying you act like you can't find any player in a later round. You can do that with any player. You can find players in the later rounds at cornerback and at linebacker and at safety. You can do that. You don't need a 1st-round guy for you to have a top-notch defense. You don't need that. But the same thing with offensive tackle. My preference is sure up a guy who's over the last couple seasons really put us in a bind by missing games. Really, it's one of the most noticeable things that happens on offense is when Tyron Smith is out of the game. It is so obvious that we need some help back there. We all sit here and talk about, hey man, we need to find an offensive coordinator to figure out a way to bring a tight end over or put the back over there to chip. This is something we consistently have to talk about for the last 2 years because of Tyron Smith. And this year, LC too, but Tyron Smith has been 2 years in a row.
We can get him in the 4th?
I think we're sitting here. We have different ways to. You are about this offensive tackle. Church and I are looking at this defense and seeing there's holes all over. I mean, that we have different philosophies on what the Cowboys need you to fix it. Now, I'll say this: if you draft, let's just say, okay, your scenario comes true. That Penei Sewell is sitting there at 10, and you take Penei Sewell. If Tyron Smith is healthy, what are you doing with Penei Sewell?
I told you what I was doing, Tyron Smith, early. I don't want to reiterate.
You going to what you say? You going to cut it?
You going to cut it?
He's going to cut back with him, huh? Letting him go.
If I got a way to save some bread, I'm moving on. I'm not the GM, and I'm not attached to Tyron Smith like Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones are. That's not me. I'm doing fantasy football and all that type of substitute. So yeah.
And that's Danny.
I'm getting rid of it.
That's something that we got to make sure our Players Lounge podcast listeners understand. And maybe that's my fault for not setting it up more. There's things we would do, and then there's things the way the Jones family does them. The Jones family is they keep a player a year too long. You know, Bill Belichick will get rid of him a year, even 2 years too early. The Jones family is going to keep a guy until they know that the gas is empty on the dude and the car won't run anymore. That's just how they do it. Okay? I go back and look at Flozell Adams. That was how they did it. It was at the end of the 90s when they had some guys who just couldn't go anywhere. That's how they are. They're loyal like that. And considering the fact they restructured Tyron Smith's contract, I don't see him going anywhere. Even if you get your Penei Sewell dream, I don't see him going anywhere. So Penei Sewell will probably be sitting on the bench if Tyron is hurt. I mean, if Tyron is healthy, waiting on him to get hurt in under your scenario. So you're going to sit up here and watch this guy he's going to sit on the bench and wait until, just considering what you're saying here. So, okay.
While this defense is getting cooked, while we giving up 35 a game, Dak Prescott throwing for 5,000.
That's the moves that the Cowboys made. I'm just saying I would have went a different way with Tyron Smith, specifically because of his health, not because of him as a person, not because of him as a player and what he's able to do, just the fact that he hasn't been available. And when you look at players, especially when you look at players and you pick them up in the draft, pick them up in free agency, the first thing you say is he available? Is he a guy that's able to stay on the field? And you know, if you were looking at Tyron Smith and you were going to pick him up as a free agent now, or if you was going to draft him, you'll be like, I don't know, this dude might slip into the 3rd or 4th.
Hey, man, you know what the man said.
We got to take a break. I want to dive into the question about the interior defensive line. Had a couple Twitter interactions this week on that, and no combine this year. Who can benefit and who doesn't benefit from that. Got more of the Players Lounge from our SWBC Mortgage Virtual Home Studios. Newy Scruggs along with Danny McCray and Barry Church. This is DallasCowboys.com radio.
Hey there, Cowboys fans. With Tide Cleaners at-home pickup and delivery, cleaning your clothes has never been more convenient. Simply sign up at your local store, set out your dirty clothes, and one of our Tide Cleaners professionals will come directly to your home for a totally contactless experience. Your clean garments will be returned promptly the next scheduled delivery day, so skip the errand and enjoy life, not laundry. Visit TideCleaners.com or your local store to sign up for Tide Cleaners at-home pickup and delivery today.
Grab some OtterBox gear and get ready for hanging with the boys. From rugged venture coolers to tough as nails elevation tumblers, we've got what you need to keep your game day drinks frosty and your football feast ice cold. And with cases, screen protectors, and power accessories, you can defend your phone and stay connected to every play. Gear up at OtterBox.com and amp up the fun of every Cowboys game. That's OtterBox.com.
How great would it be to travel to watch the Cowboys win on another team's turf? Pretty great. But honestly, just watching the game from anywhere but your house would be fun. Even a hotel bar with some guy named Phil from St. Louis who thinks Oakland still has a team. So whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Adjust your cleats, adjust your pads, even adjust your helmet, but seriously, don't adjust your underwear because once it's seen, it cannot be unseen. Tommy John's fabric keeps you cool and dry on the field or in the stands, and now they even have loungewear. Yeah, loungewear. Shop underwear at TommyJohn.com/Cowboys for 15% off your first order. That's TommyJohn.com/Cowboys.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Hey, Supercross experienced the most competitive and highest profile off-road motorcycle racing championship in the world when Monster Energy AMA Supercross returns to AT&T Stadium March 13th, 16th, and 20th. Tickets are on sale now. Get yours today before they sell out at SeatGeek.com. You're checking out the Players Lounge on DallasCowboys.com radio. I'm Newy Scruggs, longtime reporter, and I've got two former Dallas Cowboys safeties, Barry Church and Danny McCray. By the way, just to wrap this thing up on Tyron Smith, according to Spotrac here, Tyron for 2021 is going to be 31 years old. He's got a base salary of $10 million, had a restructure of $3.5 million, cap hit of $14 million, a dead cap hit of $8.8 million. So if you wanted to do a post-June cut, you do 4.4 this year and then 4.4 next year. So that's what you could do there. Want to touch on the defensive line. Rob Phillips of DallasCowboys.com with a feature on that and looking at the Cowboys' interior defensive line. Right now, you've got three dudes. You've got Neville Gallimore, who they drafted last year. You got Tristan Hill, who was drafted 2 years ago, but Tristan Hill missed last season after he tore his ACL in October. Then he got a restricted free agent in Antoine Woods. There's conversation about possibly bringing back Gerald McCoy, but he got hurt in training camp and never did anything, and he's had quad injuries the past couple seasons. So, gentlemen, how do you fix that position? How do you help Dan Quinn, who is a defensive line coach at heart? That's how he started. How do you help him get what he needs to get this defense better so it's not 31st against the run in the National Football League?
I think what you got to do is you got to address it early, either be in a draft or in free agency. You got to do it because that is a position to me that needs to be, along with the secondary, but needs to be upgraded immensely. Because look, we lost Tyron Crawford, but he really wasn't doing that much during the regular season. We got, like you said, Neville Gallimore, who I think is a budding star. He can be one piece in there that can help this defensive line take it to the next level because he can get after the passer and he can hold up against the run. So I think that could be a solid piece right there. But you need another piece. Like you said, Tristan Hill was there. He started playing a little bit. He started playing well towards the beginning of the season, but he went down with that ACL, and we just don't know. We just don't know how he's going to come back from that ACL. Will he have that same trajectory, or is he going to, playing off or even decline as a player? So I think we got to address that, whether it be in the draft or free agency. We need a guy that can shore up against the run at the very least. Somebody that can go in there, maybe a bigger body type guy that can keep these offensive linemen off of the linebackers getting to the second level. Because that was a big problem against our run game last year. It wasn't only the defensive line getting pushed out the way, but it was the fact that the guards, the tackles, they were able to get up to Jalen, they were able to get up to LVE and pretty much wash them out the way to where the only people that are contacting the running back are guys from the secondary. So for me, you got to have a body in there that can take up that offensive line or at least penetrate and be able to affect the run game, because we all know that was the worst part about our defense. People were coming in here rushing for 300 yards a pop like it was nothing. If you can't stop the run, they can pick their poison against you, and you're going to be a terrible defense overall. So we got to get somebody in there that can stuff the run and at least get these guys off of the linebackers.
Yeah, I believe that's true. I think Neville Gallimore has potential. I mean, I wouldn't bet my season on it, but I think you give him a bigger shot than you gave him last year. But the number one thing you can do for Dan Quinn to help him out on his defensive line is give him the opportunity to go out and get his free agent of choice. Let him go out there and figure out a guy who's played in his scheme, who he knows can hold point and play the position that he needs him to play, that he has trust and faith in, especially to lead that defensive line locker room. Give him that chance. Let him bring that guy in, and I think that's the best way to start this thing off. You got your two outside guys already. We already spoke about Neville Gallimore having potential. So what you really need is that one leader who he's familiar with and can relay his message to the rest of the defensive linemen and be that leader in the locker room. You give him that, and I think that's the best way to start this thing out.
I'm looking at some Super Bowl teams here recently, and just kind of looking at their interior defensive line. Obviously, you look over at Tampa Bay, who had Ndamukong Suh in the middle, along with Vita Vea. Vita Vea is a guy that Tampa Bay ended up drafting in the first round, I believe around 12. And then obviously we remember Suh a couple of years ago was the number 2 overall pick by Detroit. Then on the other side, Kansas City, I want to say they used a second-round pick on the kid in the middle, Chris. I can't remember his name, but I mean that guy was a dominator, had those long arms, and he ended up with a big contract last year. And then San Francisco was in the Super Bowl last year. They had guys littered all along that defensive line front as well. So, and then, of course, the premier defensive player in the game right now is Aaron Donald. And, first, you're seeing guys being taken in the first round. Obviously, they're different people that fit different schemes. But the Cowboys have got to figure out how they address that middle and to put somebody in there who can stop it. So their top 3 options last year were all gone. You think about it. You had Dontari Poe, Gerald McCoy, Tristan Hill. All 3 guys are not available to you, be it through injury, you cut one guy. And so that's where I think for Dan Quinn, if we're going to be fair, and Danny, as you talk about Dan Quinn's going to fix things, that's where I kind of come back to, you got to give the guy some players he needs. And you talked about bringing in somebody he knows. I mean, who do you bring in off that Atlanta defense up front that can play in the middle?
That's the thing. If you're going for guys that know the system, it's going to be hard, I think, to get a defensive lineman in here that can do a lot of damage. But if you're talking about going out and getting some free agent guys that could be top of the market, you got to look at like a guy like Ndamukong Suh. I mean, this is a guy, he's known for just switching up teams. And, hey, he might go here, he might go there. Whoever thinks can give him the best shot. So we got a chance at him, but he might be, a little bit out of our price range. So that's becomes the hard part. Who can this guy bring in free agent wise that's not going to break the bank, but kind of knows his system a little bit and can get the most productivity out of that defensive tackle position?
Right, and I think he has more options than just in what's Atlanta. I mean, his coaching history and pedigree extends a little further than that. He doesn't need a superstar guy. It's a lot of defensive linemen who aren't superstars, who don't really get mentioned, but they do their job well enough to where their gap and is held, and they're keeping the linebacker safe and able to run free. So I don't think he necessarily needs one of those top-notch stars. Like I said, it's somebody that he's familiar with. He knows who's going to be in the right place and able to do their job. I hadn't done the research to know exactly who's still available and who's still playing from when he was in Seattle and what he has in Atlanta, but I'm sure he has his eyes on somebody, and they'll be making that move sometime soon.
And Danny, based on what you said in Church, this comes right back to Dak Prescott. One reason why you don't want to throw the franchise tag on, you want to get a deal as quick as you can, so you can spread this, have more money available to try and go and get yourself some help in free agency and actually get a better player. Because right now, if they had to throw the tag on when free agency starts, it's going to be tough to try and land a premier player up front. But to me, I just think if you're Dan Quinn right now, you need to get interior defensive lineman, and you've got to go get yourself a free safety. To me, those are the 2 biggest things that I believe will help him as he tries to implement and turn this defense around. And I'm not sure exactly how and where you go get them right now.
Well, I mean, there's some. Go ahead, D-Mac.
No, this is a question for you, Church. I was scrolling through Twitter, and I seen somebody post a picture of the defense that you guys had, and they was like, you never would have thought that these guys would have been able to produce the defense that they put out there. Who was that defensive line? I know Mincy was one of them. And who talking about
in Dallas?
Yeah, in Dallas.
Oh, it was Mincy, George Selvey. Who was the other cat? what's his name? White guy, man. His name was I know his nickname, but I can't say his nickname online like that. But I forget his name. Number 96, but they called him the Golden something. But he was in there.
Oh yeah. So
I think maybe Malik Collins, maybe.
Yeah, so when I'm saying Dan Quinn could find somebody that could fit, that doesn't have to be a star, and he can make this defense be formidable. That's what I mean. It doesn't have to be one of those top-notch guys where you go pay $15-16 million. You can find some guys to fit in and that fit your scheme that'll work for what you're doing and help you be a good defense, just like you guys were. Nick Hayden, that was his name.
Nick Hayden, that was his name. Yeah.
So it was no star. It was no stars on there, but you wasn't hearing people talking about they was coming in here running 300 yards a game on y'all.
This is true. We ain't have no stars on. I think the biggest star on that defense might have been either Mo or maybe Rolando McClain. We had a mixed batch of people, a big time mixed batch of people, but it ended up working. Y'all
played together. Man. The offense held the ball long enough. Y'all played from ahead. Y'all stopped the run when y'all needed to, and y'all got turnovers when y'all needed them.
So 1 year of an outlier. That's what you're pointing to? That's the fix? Hey, remember that one time we had an outlier with a bunch of dudes? Okay.
Did they have a good? Was the defense good or not?
I thought we were good. We were like second or third in the league in taking the ball away. I think we had like 35 or 38 takeaways that year. We were nice.
I know. No, I'm saying it's on film, and Newy's talking about that one time, so it don't really matter.
Yeah, what year was that? What year was that?
Who cares? It happened. Somebody was the defensive coordinator, and they called those plays, and the defensive players out there made the plays. You talk about they don't count because it was just that one time. What they got lucky?
I didn't. That's what I'm saying. If you don't do it again, okay. If you do it one time, and you don't do it again and follow it up. What do we call that? One hit wonder. Just say just one that one time.
I think Church.
That was like
2016.
I think
they broke it up in
Jacksonville. 16. How was y'all defense in 16?
No, we was nice in 16 too.
And who were the stars on that defense?
I was the star on that defense.
So what we talking about, Newy?
That sounds like you know what you sound like? That sounds like the people who talk about Carson Wentz. Well, he was almost MVP that 1 year. That was 1 year. Okay, for one time. So remember that one time? Okay.
We just named two. We just named two times, 2 playoff runs. We just named that, and the reason that.
And when was that?
Like I said,
when was that?
The last time we went to the playoffs. The last time we went to the playoffs, Newy.
I can't remember. It's been so long. What, he just said
it was 2016. The last time we were good. The last time we were good. That's when that was.
2016.
The last time we were good. Exactly.
When Obama was in office. Gotcha. When Obama was in office, 2016. Gotcha.
The last time we had some success on defense like that was when Church was on the team and it was no stars and they had guys that fit the scheme. So I mean, what are you trying to say?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
I don't know what you're trying to say, Newy.
2016. I'm just saying 2016 is a long time ago. What you pointed out.
Politician over there. He remember all the presidential years, who the president and all that, but he can't seem to remember that the last time we was good on defense and those were the players that we had. Ain't that something? Go ahead with your political response, Newy.
Hey, baby. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Hope and change. Danny McCray gonna bring us some hope and change.
We need to bring Church back. We need Church to come back in there on player
y'all
personnel.
Want these old bones? Oh yeah.
Go out there on player personnel and find some guys.
Woo.
We'd be top 10. We'd be probably top 5 defensively without a shot.
And you wouldn't even spend all the money on the cap.
Let's wrap this up here because I brought it up. So let's make sure we address it here for the Players Lounge listeners here on the podcast. Combine. How does it help some people? How does it affect some people in a negative way? No combine.
I think it's only 2 things, man. I think it helps the people that were gamers in college, the people that, put up a lot of stats and they, all Americans, all this and that, but they weren't workout warriors. So they would go to the combine and run a slow time and that would affect their draft status. So I think it helps guys like that. but it hurts the guys like the Byron Joneses of the world, the DK Metcalfs of the world, who are workout warriors who would go to the combine and run ridiculous numbers, jump out the gym and post these ridiculous numbers, and then they would shoot up the boards. Like when Byron came out, I think he was maybe a mid-round pick, and then he had that unbelievable combine, and he shot up to the first round. I mean, it was off of pure athleticism. So I think it hurts guys like that, but the gamers of the world, the ones that put up stats, I think it helps them.
Hey, so are they just sending in video of their drills? Or are they doing it live?
Just pro days. I think it's just pro days, right?
Pro days. They're pro days.
Oh yeah, well, I think it definitely. You know how you have those guys that go to the combine and don't run really well, don't really perform really well, but once they get back to their home stadium, their home indoor facility, all of a sudden they drop a few tenths of a second off the 40. They do the L drill a little faster. I think it's going to help those guys specifically, right? Because
they got that home cooking.
Oh yeah, every year is a guy that goes to the combine, he runs a 4.6, and then he goes back at his pro day, he runs a 4.4. Now you take that off the board. Now you take it off the board. 39 and a half, 40 guys. They run at 38. They run at 38. They run at 38.
40. Well, out here cooking the books, man.
I think it's going to take that off the table. And those guys that normally wouldn't perform well at the combine and depending on their pro day, now they only have that one thing out there. It's only the good time, not the bad. So I think it's going to help those guys out, whoever they are. We have no idea who they are, but it'll help them out.
Well, I'll be very interested to see exactly from a scouting standpoint how many people are going to really just be able to rely on their tape of what they see of these guys and make decisions there without the combine, just having to just look at the tape. Because for me, just being a media person following, I just think so many times people fall in love with the combine versus looking at years of tape that you see on guys. And poor Justin Fields. I mean, this guy's getting beat up right now, and people seem to forget what he could do. We watched it happen to Deshaun Watson, third quarterback overall, despite playing in 2 national championship games and winning a national championship. And he watches a dude, Mitchell Trubisky, with 13 starts, go over him, and watches Patrick Mahomes, who played on some bad Texas Tech teams, get taken over him. So I just think for the lack of a combine, I think it can help some guys who were good football players, and scouts have to rely on the tape. So it's gonna be fun to see. All right, that's our time, guys. It was fun. I miss these weekly sessions where we get to sit around here, chop it up here, and Danny, I appreciate you as always coming up with these theories. It's entertaining.
You do this on purpose.
It's entertaining.
You try to get me amped up on purpose, so I can just keep on talking. I know what you're doing, man.
No, man.
Real quick though,
enjoy your day, man.
Y'all need to watch that WandaVision, man. Y'all need to watch that WandaVision on Disney Plus. It's fire. I'm telling you.
What is it?
Fire.
What's it about?
It's called WandaVision. WandaVision. Y'all stick with the Marvel.
It's Marvel. Y'all like Marvel, but Snowfall came back on this week, so that took my time.
You right about that. That Snowfall. The first 2 episodes was fire, man. But hey,
I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out.
I've been on that Office. Church, I've still been watching The Office. That diversity day,
is
bro.
Classic.
That diversity day, man. I couldn't believe that one, man. They had the basketball game, so I've been watching The Office. So
I'm telling you, it has so much rewatchability. Like I could go right now, just turn it back on. Like The Office is a classic, man. It's a classic.
So since you're on Disney Plus, hit up. If you haven't watched Hamilton, check it out. It is phenomenal.
That's the Broadway show, right?
Yes, it is. And I know you got a huge TV at your house, so it's basically gonna be Broadway in your home. So just turn the lights down and that super sound system you have, baby. You go ahead, you do that. If I can watch it in my daughter's room and be entertained, I know at the Casa de Church, man, it's gonna be off the chain. It's gonna be just like Lin-Manuel is right there singing "My Shot" right all up in your face. So
it's time. We over time. We got to go, y'all.
So you go ahead, check it out, fellas. You're gonna love it. That's the Players Lounge for this week. For Danny McCray, Barry Church, producer Chris Beam, I'm Newy Scruggs. We'll talk to you next week, everybody.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?